What's going on, everybody? It's Shane here from Over Display Gaming, and this whole weekend I'm coming to you from a hotel room in Vegas, so that's why I don't have a very colorful background. I went to see Sick New World at festival, and that was a cluster fest. There's a lot more pros than there are cons. It's a one-day festival, so obviously you're not going to expect to see everything. But I'm going to break it down real quick, show you some clips, and tell you what I think about it, and compare it to last year's festival, because I went last year as well. So, first things first is walking into the festival is kind of a mess. Because we had VIP, we had it last year and this year. And last year we kind of got there earlier, so I don't think we ran into the problem and we didn't see it as much. But this year, it took us an hour to get into the venue because there was no lines separating people. Nobody knew where the hell they're going. There's the choke points in this fence, and everybody's like, well, I don't know, everybody has a blue wristband. We'll all line up right here. Kind of a pain in the ass. So that took forever just to get searched, ID checked, to wait in another line to scan your ticket. I think they should do a better job of that. They should have had barricades. They should have alright, if you're going to treat us like cattle, corral us like cattle. Like there should be big fences saying GA, GA Plus, VIP right here, and they should be extended way out to where we're walking in, because there's this long, almost football field-like lot of lines going everywhere, and people are cutting, walking all over the place, and you don't know where you're going until you get closer to the front. So that was a pain in the ass. Again, this is a festival, so don't expect it to be, not crowded. VIP this year, I feel like they sold way more. You can't blame them for doing that. It's like, oh, they sold way more tickets. And people I've talked to, we've all come to a consensus that seems like they sold way more tickets than they were last year. Somebody said, oh, I heard that they sold it to 85,000 this year. Last year's attendance, from what I looked up, I'll pop that up here. It said 65. They said this year was like 85,000, which I'll believe it, because that was super packed. And even if you had VIP, trying to get to some of these side stages, it didn't even matter because it's just a pain in the ass to move between them. A festival like this, where they have this 5 stages this year, you're going to treat it as a sampler platter or a main course. You're going to find the few bands you want to see, plan that out, stay at those stages, see a band maybe you're not into, just to be there for the band you want to see. Or you could take it as, sampling each and every band. I wouldn't really recommend it. We tried to do that, and we missed a band or two that we wanted to see just because we tried to go see some other bands, and it would have made more sense staying at the main stages, the gold stage and the red stage, because it just takes forever walking in between these stages, because you're walking through so many people, and you can't do anything to get through them faster, even if you have VIP. And then when you get into VIP, there was lines to get into the VIP areas this year. I don't remember doing that last year. I got way closer to some of the bands last year than I did this year. But that being said, it's a festival. It's crowded. The line to get into the venue should have been a lot better. You did have a lot of choke points walking through places where it got really narrow, where they could have opened this up. And I feel like if you're looking at the 2 maps this year, from last year to this year, they only did a few things differently. Like they moved the cabanas. They were on, I think, the left side, stage right of 2023. Yeah. And then they flipped it this year. And then they added a 5th stage, the Diablo Stage, in kind of the back area, which I like that stage a lot. I felt like it worked great back there, but again, it was just on the stage to try to jam all the way back too. So between the lines getting in there is a mess, choke points getting everywhere, felt way more crowded, especially in VIP. I didn't have any other real cons. Some bands started late, but it was only like maybe 5 minutes late. But when we did go to see Sleep Token, they were one of the headliners. They went on, I believe, 6 minutes late and ended a little bit early. So they didn't even play their full set at all, which sucks for them. But no band that I saw sounded terrible. I didn't have any sound issues with anything. So now that we dive into the pros, I could say check out some clips of. I got the first band we saw was Baby Metal, and then we went into some Alice in Chains and Primus. So let's check those out real quick. And we're back. And now I want to go back into some more pros because there were more pros than there were cons. Again, the cons were like any festival you're going to be at. Although I feel, touch on one more thing real quick. The biggest thing that would fix this entire festival is if they were to do it to 2 days. If they were to take this entire lineup, split it between 2 days, that would give us a lot better chance to see all of the bands we wanted to see. There would have been a lot less overlap. There's a ton of overlap. But I've interviewed some bands, I've talked to some people, and like they say the same thing. This festival only made money if they sell it out in 1 day. But to me that doesn't make any sense because I went to Aftershock, which I feel like was a way bigger festival than this. And I paid the same amount for VIP for 4 days as opposed to paying for one VIP ticket for 1 day. Maybe it was a little bit more. I think VIP at Aftershock, I'll correct me if I'm wrong, we're putting that up there. I think it was like $500 and I paid, I think, $4 something for this VIP, or like, I think it was actually $600 for VIP for 1 fucking day. I forget. Corrections going up there. Comparison between festival and current pricing. But anyway, I will say this to wrap up the cons real quick. I don't think VIP was worth it this year. I think VIP was way better last year. I feel like they oversold VIP this year, where you did not feel VIP. And actually, to touch on one more thing, one of the bathrooms, like, we had air-conditioned bathrooms and some weren't even AC. Whatever. Wasn't that bad weather-wise this year. But that's about it. If they were to make this 2 days, I feel like this would be a perfect festival. That's just me. So let's go into some pros, because there were a lot of pros to this festival. From so many great bands. Like, this lineup was stacked. But the coolest thing about having a stacked lineup like this is you have a lot of band collaboration, which was fucking awesome because some of these bands released songs together very recently. And I will say somebody was pulling like, I think, triple duty on songs was Poppy. She played with, I started doing a song with Bad Omens, And she came out and did the Knock Loose song. And I think it was just those two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she did two collaborations. Oh, and I was thinking, got to see Baby Metal. So they came out and they did a song with Bring Me the Horizon, Kingslayer, and that was cool. Oh, wait, yeah. Poppy did Bad Omens and Knock Loose, yep. And then Bad Omens did their collaboration that dropped maybe like a week and a half prior, The Drain, which is a killer song. Go check that out. I'm a big Health fan. I like Health more than I do Bad Omens, but I won't say Bad Omens sounded bad. None of these bands, even if I weren't into them, did not sound bad at all. If you were a fan of these bands, you wouldn't have been disappointed. I felt some of these bands that I've seen, like I'm not a Bring Me the Horizon fan, they sounded great. And to me, what sounds great is if I could pop in their studio stuff, listen to it, and then watch them live, and they sound exactly the same. Whew, that's killer right there. So you won't be disappointed in that. The band collaborations is cool because you don't know what you're going to get. The surprises were popping out left and right. So that being said, before I get into more pros, let's kick it off with some more bands real quick. Because we were able to see Perfect Circle. That was my first time seeing them. As well as I was able to see Slipknot. And what else we got here? Better Lovers. Some of these aren't in order because I think I mixed them up. It don't matter. Let's do 3 clips at a time. Tell you what band's playing. So let's go to more clips.
Hip hip hooray! What a glorious display! Melt our joyous hearts away under the mushroom cloud confetti.
And we're back. So let's wrap it all off here. From the 5 stages, lots of killer bands. What I'm looking at, I had a lot of. We had fun walking to stage. Again, I wasn't in a hurry to see anything because I've seen a lot of these bands, so it didn't matter to me if like we had to run somewhere or we have to see this band. Again, a festival like this, just relax, have fun, walk from stage to stage, pick a stage to stay at, because you're not going to be able to get there in time. What screwed us out of seeing, we weren't able to finish, we didn't get to see Danny Elfman, which would have been cool, and we wouldn't have been able to see we didn't see all of System because we tried to go see Sleep Token. And Sleep Token, it sucks because we couldn't get a good stage spot. So System's set was bleeding over into theirs. But that's minor stuff. I feel like, I guess the last con, I would say, sound-wise, nothing sounded bad. But it depends on the smaller stages because the further back you are, obviously going to sound terrible. Whereas opposed to the red stage, the gold stage, the main stages, and wherever you were, right up front, or where back, you can hear everything. So I feel like if they were to pay more attention to the smaller stages and give them a little bit more sound, or spread them out a little bit more to where it makes sense where things aren't bleeding into each other, I guess. Diablo Stage was tucked way in the back, which was cool. Again, I will pop this up. This is scrolling right here. The red stage, all of those bands on that stage you should go check out. Those are all the, I guess, smaller bands. But surrounding Sick New World is another pro. Is there's a lot of side shows. Like there was shows even starting Thursday and then Friday and then Sick New World and then even tonight, which I'm recording this on the 28th on Sunday. We just came back from Lamb of God, Incendiary, and KubaCon, which that'll be another quick video coming up. But the things surrounding the festival are fun. I would basically recommend this festival to anybody that's looking to see some of these bands in a bigger setting that you've seen before. And there are a lot of rarities on there because it makes sense for bands nowadays just to play festivals here and there rather than going on big tours. So it makes sense for them to stop. Because I will say a band that was stopping while they were on tour was Perfect Circle and Primus. All of their gear got stuck in a snowstorm in Colorado, so that kind of sucked. But they brought it. And they didn't miss a beat. They were killer. So that was not even a sound issue. But I will say those are the kind of problems you're going to have popping up with a festival this massive. So it didn't bug me when some of these stages were like 4 or 5 minutes late because what are you going to do when you have a festival this massive? So again, I would go into this festival if you're going to try to go next year. Personally, I didn't see a point in getting VIP. I didn't see any benefits to shorter lines or anything because sometimes we'd go outside of the VIP area, get a beer just as quick, go to the bathroom just as quick, which is a testament to the festival itself. That's cool. But again, if you're going to go to this festival, just go with a plan or take it as a sampling plan. Pick a few stages to stay at, kick it there. Don't try to run to another stage. There's some bands that you haven't seen before. Try to plan ahead to make sure you're going to go to that stage, stay at that stage, get a good spot for them. Otherwise, you may miss a few songs. So if you've seen all these bands before and there's a few that you want to see here and there and just like, I want to hang out, go there, much better way to approach this festival. If you are a fan of a lot of these bands, you've seen them multiple times from clubs or arenas, way better because you're not going to stress out. You're not going to get irritated when it takes forever to get from stage to stage. You don't mind just sitting at a stage all day. Like the main stage was stacked and you could have just sat there all day. But switching back and forth was a pain. You'd have to leave. When we were doing that in the beginning, you'd have to leave 2 songs in between 2 songs the last set and then walk over to the next stage. So to wrap it up, I will say, depending on what the lineup is next year, I'll probably end up going on the fence about VIP unless they offer something different, because VIP this year, you're just paying a lot of extra money to be on stage left or stage right. But I will say it was kind of a cluster in the center. And actually, here's a pro that I'm very proud of them doing this. They moved it up an entire month this year. Last year it was in May, and it was so hot last year. It was like at least 90 to 100. And this year it was like a really good breeze. It's like 80 degrees was the high, which was awesome. Perfect Vegas weather. So that was a pro. If they keep it in April, you're not going to be disappointed with the weather. So again, approaching this, if you're going to go next year, there's 5 stages. I hope they don't add another one. A lot of overlap. Plan your time if you're going to go. And I hope that you did get to see the bands you wanted to see this year. Let me know if you did go this year. Let me know what you saw. Let me know how you thought of the festival. Let me know if we're on the same page. You going to go next year? What were your favorite sets? Anyway, everybody, this was just a quick recap. I will recommend this festival to anybody as a one-day kind of fun festival. Traveling for it though, real quick, depends on much you like some of these bigger bands. Because if I lived in Vegas, I'd probably go every year because it's easy. Traveling here, they have to sell me on some bigger bands, sell me on some things that I want to see. I felt like it was worth it because we did travel this year, so we'll see what they got next year. But other than that, stay tuned for all the new Sick New World stuff coming up. Tons of clips and everything that they've been posting. And hopefully they got... Oh, one more thing. Here's what I wanted to say. My hopes for Sick New World is they have a lot of older bands. You have a lot of legacy acts like Alice in Chains, System of a Down, Slipknot, even Lamb of God. These are all bands that are coming up 30 years old. This is kind of a mixed bag of genres of music where you have some newer stuff, some hardcore, a lot of hardcore in there. You have a lot of metalcore, there's heavy metal. Lamb of God, you could say they're more metal now than death metal. But there wasn't really a lot of death metal, and I feel like death metal is really strong right now. Like Frozen Soul could have been there easily. I think Creeping Death, or even Sanguisuzabog. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Or Jesus Piece. So there's a lot of bands they could be pulling from, which I'm hoping for next year they will. So I'm just putting that out into the universe, that they get a lot of these newer death metal bands that I think are just killing it, going on all cylinders right now. And I hope that the lineup is it's better. You don't want the same, you want better. Hey, here's some clips real quick. They're popping up. Let's go. So again, everybody, I hope you enjoy these clips. I hope you enjoyed me talking about this. Let me know what y'all thought. Hey, and I just want to say real quick before I take off that I do live streams here once a month, and we have a live stream coming up May 4th with 3 killer bands: The Sumerian, Satan's Grasp, and Rut. So you got you're a High on Fire fan. I lump them in with The Sumerian. Kind of old school black metal, thrash metal, Venom, Merciful Fate stuff, Satan's Grasp. And then you have Rut, traditional kind of power violence stuff with death metal and everything. Killer bands. I've linked them before and I've talked about them, as well as I have a community post up with a link to each one of their new albums and EPs. But this will be this coming Saturday, as well as we're giving away band merch from each one of the bands and vinyls. So go check that out. So until next time, everybody. Later.